Well, welcome. This is a great day. Here we are in this beautifully warm summer day, shooting one of my favorite jobs ever. This is a penthouse on a famous landmark building, 610 West End Avenue. And what we have here is a complete gut reno of a small apartment, but a great apartment. So let's take a look. And I'm sure it's going to be echoey, but it's a lot to take in. So what we want to do today is go over probably the most important parts of really a gut renovation design build project. And this is really one of my favorites because it was the most challenging job I think I've done in my career. I thought that the last one on Fifth Avenue was, but no, this one took first prize. And that's really because when we cut in some of the before pictures, there was a chopped up use of space. This was originally probably a maintenance shed, and when they converted this rental to a co-op, they turned these into penthouses. And so the outside is, as we'll see later, isn't necessarily that fabulous, but the inside certainly is. And so I ripped open the ceilings and we added light, and we had to upgrade the electric to 200 amps, completely change the kitchen, redesign the kitchen, all custom, all new floors. We had to add heat to the central air. Central air was here, but we added heat. We added a tremendous vented hood. This is, Wolf Appliances. Sub-Zero was already something they bought new, but basically a major transformation, a major surgery. We actually did a great job here. And to show you how this works, this is a tandem pocket, and it allows us to have a guest in an office room and also probably bring in more light and have a convertible office, to a guest room. All of our new radiator systems in that bedroom especially couldn't have one. We did an electric convection radiator with a separate thermostat. But this section has the living room, open, kitchen integrated with all of the these are all new Marvin exterior windows and doors with the natural oak finishes. I think we complemented it with a light floor, Rifton Cortison floor, which is bleached twice, so it looks the way it looks, but I just love the finish. And then that's an antique cherry kitchen that I design everything with all that we would want for a great place for entertainment. We added big ass, it's literally a big ass fan. We added a lot of new interior lights, changed all the supply and returns. And actually in the skylights here where we'll look up in there, there's a supply that pulls all of the air out into the central system. We have added like a city quiet window treatment. We added a second layer of a panel of thermal insulated panel that with the trim, now this apartment is quiet and we're not losing heat through all three of these skylights, the other one's in the dining area. So this now became a place that with the heart of the kitchen as part of it. They are hanging out, and we redid the fireplace. That's a metal box insert, but it's a real fireplace. Had to address all of the insulation that we needed to change because there was none around. Honed absolute granite. And this antique fireplace, it looks antique, but this is handmade tiles. And my custom-made surrounds of the fireplace, and we're getting solid glass doors that have no frame around them so that we can close the fireplace when they're using it and not lose the heat in home. This is actually a slice of a real walnut tree, and this little piece of wood cost $4,000, but we loved the shape of it and kept it organic, and it tied into the custom walnut. This is like their table. They have, their records, all their guitars, everything that they have here ties in beautifully to this area and the vibe of the way it feels. But we changed everything to be geometric. So there was a rounded step which we made square. There were, again, radiators that didn't work. So I incorporated in my designs of all of these units, which are the covers. This is Frank Lloyd Wright, and I took a grill. I took the grill and I had to custom make the grill so that it shows in every single one of them the same kind of design and pattern. This is all cedar stone pure white tops, and I put them in every windowsill as well to clean it up. Very just contemporary, modern feeling for the space. We're talking about the TV and getting the TV mounted. We kind of need the TV in the bracket before we can put it up above the fireplace, which is not my favorite thing to do, but that's what we have to do because that's the only place that they can put it. But I think as an integral part of this space, the kitchen is really what becomes, the heart of the home. And besides the fact that you go out to this, which we're going to go talk about later, this fabulous terrace that's bigger than the apartment, having this kitchen and having the interactivity of, you're hanging out at this kitchen with 3 people at least, and we changed the outlets so they face the seated area. These little guys are actually installed in what's a partial wall underneath this island. Love this is a newer pattern for Caesar stone. Love the fact that it's got such really gentle veining instead of crazy veining and drama, because we thought it would keep it more open. There's a Frankie, I love the new Frankie sinks that are using material that is not stainless, so it's easier it doesn't show as much dirt, very practical, functional, and we use in the kitchen things that are great for space saving. So I love the Le Mans. This is a pull-out for two shelves that handle very heavy pots and pans. And they're big, and they have a decent sized induction. I think it's 30. I did a bigger hood. This is a vented hood. It's probably about 1,000 CFM, cubic feet a minute. And inserts, we have the tableware close to the dishwasher. So they had a new dishwasher, so we bought new appliances but kept what was theirs. And the layout of this was tricky. I don't have enough space, really. And we're still putting brooms in the entry closet. Sub-zero, 36-inch. This was really a pain to design this space to fit around a structural column. Those 2 sides of what you see as a beam above is structural. So hidden behind that box column is the smallest thing I could do, because we had to have exactly this much space to be able to encase the tall panels around the Sub-Zero. So other than bringing in all new, which we'll look at later, all new water supply, everything had to come up and over and then down and under and through the stub wall to get to that sink, and then to pipe the supply up and over to the refrigerator. It's quite a project, but every doorway has another sill that's also the honed granite. We did our beverage center over here, U-line, which we love, and then this is a Sharp drawer microwave, which we also love. And I also use throughout, in this case, no hardware, because we have the edge pulls, finger pulls. And I love that because, for a modern contemporary kitchen, it makes it feel so perfect and clean. We did include hardware where I have this big pull-out pantry, which everybody loves. I mean, it just adds an enormous amount of space. And on this side, where we have the Bible of everything that came in here, their final binders, ample storage for what they need. I think they just are going to have a challenge trying to keep it as neat and clean as it looks now because it's new. But another new, we had to replace this radiator. Again, we're incorporating all the pure white tops, which makes such a huge difference throughout the space. But let's take a look now in the back for the next section.